I'm Joanna. I'm now 38 years old. I was 37 when I was diagnosed with lung cancer. I first began feeling off colour when I got a cough, and the cough was persistent, and I knew that if you had a persistent cough you should go to the doctor if it hasn't gone, and I think the guideline was 6 weeks. So I went to the doctor then, that was the first time I went. Then I went again maybe 2 months after having the cough, and I complained at that point out of tiredness as well. And then the final time when I went to the GP, I'd probably had the cough for about 3 months by then, and I had coughed up a small amount of blood. And that was when the GP said, right, we'll send you to for an x-ray. And she did that I got the x-ray the same day. I mean, there was no hanging around after that. But before then, they just didn't, I don't think they expected me to have it either, because I didn't look like I could be seriously ill. I was diagnosed in February 2015. I first found out when the doctor phoned me at work to say that the x-ray had revealed a shadow on the lung and that it wasn't tuberculosis or anything else, it was definitely lung cancer. That was the first time when I really thought for certain that there had been no mistake, because being relatively young and very healthy with a healthy lifestyle, the last thing I expected was a diagnosis of lung cancer, advanced lung cancer. So the first line of treatment was radical radiotherapy and chemotherapy. I had the chemotherapy first, and I was able to work throughout that. And then the radiotherapy came along, and I had 19 fractions. And towards the end, because they were targeting my neck, I got acute esophagitis, which meant I couldn't swallow. And at that point, I was admitted to hospital, and I did stop work for 6 weeks. Then I got back into normal life again quite quickly after that, and I started feeling really good, and I probably felt what counts as normal completely changes because it's so relative, but I started to feel what I thought at that point was normal. And then unfortunately, when I went for my follow-up scan, although the chest was clear, the head MRI showed evidence of metastases. So now I'm on a targeted therapy, afatinib, which has some side effects, but mostly they're manageable, and I still work full time, and that is really important to me. That is one of the things that keeps me sane. Yeah, I'm really very lucky because my life before and after isn't that different. I still work full time, I still am able to move and think and parent my children. I'm really, really lucky, and a lot of that has to do with the amount of research that has been put into looking at treatments for lung cancer and improving them. And it's not just the clinical advances they've made, which are phenomenal, it's also dealing with the mental health aspect of it and making sure that the impact of a cancer diagnosis is acknowledged and dealt with, and you get the support you need when you need it. For me, that is far and away the hardest part of this. I feel at the centre of myself very strong. I think I can cope with anything, but what I can't really cope with is the effect that it has on the people that I love. The children don't have any idea really of the severity of this, and I don't really want them ever to have to realise that. I want to live so that I can bring them up and support them, help them when they need help. I want to meet any grandchildren. I want to help them with their children in the same way as my parents have helped me. And I just took all that for granted before now. And I really don't know if I'm going to meet their children. Obviously, you don't know what's going to happen. Nobody does, but no. Two pieces of advice that I would give. First and foremost, even if you can't get the cancer cured, and a lot more people are getting it cured these days, even with advanced lung cancer, if you can't get it cured, then life with cancer is still worth living. You have to believe that, and with that belief in mind, you then have to live as if you are going to have a long, healthy life. You have to do all the things that you would do to be healthy anyway. So that involves exercise, eating well, having fun as much as you possibly can. I find that to help with my lung capacity and breathing, regular exercise is really important, and I have to schedule it to make sure it happens because life is so busy that you can just sit on the sofa and not get up again. So I have to make a plan. But my favourite weekly exercise is a walk that I do with a friend of mine, and we just go around the village and up into the hills and down again, and that gives me both physical benefit from the walking, and also it helps my mental health because that I walk with a person who lives close by, who's not related to me, and we talk not necessarily about cancer, but it just makes me feel part of the community, and I get a great benefit from that as well as from the walking, and it means that I want to go walking, so it's not a struggle to leave the house because I'm basically going for a natter. So yeah, it's a great thing to do. I would advocate walking to anyone. One of the ways that I find helps me to relax and to wind down is singing, partly because it was such a huge relief to me that after all the things that were done to my chest, I could still sing. I didn't really think that would be a possibility, certainly not at the time when I was admitted to hospital because I couldn't swallow. I thought I'm not going to be able to sing after this. But I could, and I still sing to my children every night. They're quite young and they still like it. And I also try to play the piano as often as I can. I don't have much time for it. But when I can do it, it's great to recognise that you still have a skill and that you can still indulge and it still gives you enjoyment. Music is really important like that. And I think everybody should make an effort to do something that they really enjoy every day.